How you doing, guys? Welcome to IBC 2022. Just want to give you a walkthrough of our booth and kind of talk about what we've got on display today, and then show you some of the other ways we're activating at the show to kind of bring our products to life. So from an experience perspective, people can play with everything that's available, which is great. I think sometimes when you come to exhibitions and stuff's locked in, it's really difficult to get an experience of how things feel and how things function. Up here we have our Forza 60C, and that's with the projector mount. You can see we're just throwing up our Nanlite logo here. So this is our Forza table, led by the Forza 720B with our FL20G Fresnel. We have the 300, the 300B, the 500, the 720, and then a 720 with our projector lens here as well. This is projecting up here, so you can see our Nanlite logo over here. Gives you an indication to the amount of power that this thing has in terms of what it can throw. Then over here we have our FS table and our compact. So this basically has the FS 150, the 300, the 300B, and a range of our compact flat panels. A good thing with the compact panels is what they are doing is, if we look at the FS 150, if we look at the depth of this briefly, so from a side perspective, if we look at how deep that is with the softbox on, for a lot of people in small studios, they might struggle getting that space, and this is where the compact comes into a world of its own. Super thin, so you can create a very soft light with only this amount of surface area. So for those that are using or lighting in small spaces that need a soft light, the compact really is a great option. Then we move over to our RGB WW panels. So we have the Mixpad 11C, the Mixpad 27C, the Mixpanel 150, and the Mixpanel 60. So these are all RGB WW panels that have the capacity to do your full range of CCT and also a full range of HSI in terms of colors. Now, we've got some modifiers on them. If you look at the 150 here, we have a soft reflector on the front with a grid on it as well. And for those that don't know, the 150 and the 60, they also have a unique technology, which is a digital diffuser. So we can basically create a hard light or a soft light without a modifier on it. But this modifier will also give you a little bit more control over the light that is available. Then we move on to our last little podium. And on here we have our smaller Forza ranges. So we have our 60 and our 150. So in terms of the lineup, we have our 150B here with the FL11 Fresnel. Very simple to zoom in and zoom out. We can also cut the light with our barn doors, which is fantastic. A range of accessories. So this guy will allow you to use a V-Lock battery on your 150. So, you know, a 14.8 on here is going to give you some runtime out and about without having to be connected to power. We also have this one here for the Forza 60. So again, you can use a 14.8 V-Lock battery on your Forza 60. And then finally, we've got this hand grip here, which will allow you to use the MPF batteries. They pack in a bag really easy. So if you need to be mobile, this is a great option. The other good thing with here is underneath here you have basically a mount hole. So if you don't want to hold this all the time, this can pop really conveniently on top of a stand, so it makes it super easy to use. And then last but not least, we have the Forza 60 range. And in terms of the Forza 60 range, we have the 60 here with our pop-up softbox. We then have the 60B with our 19-degree Fresnel lens, and that's just throwing a pattern up on the wall by using this gobo here. So you can see here, little gobo, pops inside the unit, and that just displays, and we've got a whole range of those. So we've got two sets of gobos that you can buy that bring more depth to your production. And then last but not least is this guy here, our RGB LAC Forza 60C. So this is super innovative in terms of what it does. In terms of color fidelity and saturation, there isn't another technology out there that's able to do what this does. So really proud to showcase this. Also have another one up here with our 80 lantern. So that 80 lantern is actually Bowens mount, but we have a Bowens adapter that will allow you to go from the Forza 60, the FM mount, to a traditional Bowens mount. So there's no reason why you can't use traditional Bowens modifiers or use our Bowens modifiers that we have. The last thing on the Nanlite side is we have our T87X, we have our 10C kit, and then we have an 8 kit of the PavoTube 30X. So these just give you an indication of the kits that are available. With products like this, you tend to need multiple of them. You tend to need, you know, 2s, 3s, 4s, 8s. So we've given you some options in terms of kits. So this is the 8 kit. We also do a 4 kit. And then with the T87X, individually, or 4 kits as well. So this is everything from the Nanlite perspective. I'm going to take you over to the Nanlux perspective, but in between there, we've got a celebration of our 30 years of heritage. So we're celebrating by inviting people over with coffees and kind of giving them the opportunity to relax. And we've just got some of our key products on the wall and a bit about our company. So in terms of where we are, you know, we've got 30 years of heritage, 237 patents, and we operate in over 85 countries. Follow me over to the Nanlux site. So we'll start off here. So space lights, one of the greatest ways to create super soft light in big spaces. So we've got our space light modifier that's connected to the Dyno 650 up there. The thing that people want to see is the big fixtures, and we'll start off in terms of the family. So we have our TK range here, which are, you know, traditional kind of studio panels. They come in daylight or a bi-color option, and they just give you great options for kind of like if you have green screen studios or just general production studios. So that's the TK range. Then if you follow me over to the front, we then move into our dyno. So we have our Dyno 650 and we have our Dyno 1200. So these are the 1200 panels here. So these are RGB WW panels. Great output, fantastic in terms of the color fidelity, and these are big units. You can see by the power packs here that these are designed for large scale production. Then we move over to our T-bar triple header. On the T-bar triple header, we have 2 Evoke 1200s on either end, and they're using the traditional reflectors that comes with them. And then in the middle is the thing that everybody's talking about. This is the Evoke 1200B. Now traditionally with bi-color lights, when you go from a daylight fixture to a bi-color fixture, you tend to lose anything from 30 to 40% of the output. This has no loss of output. A couple of other things. The new Fresnel has a new design. So the first rendition of this was centrally mounted. And what that did is that limited your angles in terms of using big modifiers. The power pack system here, the great thing with the power pack is we have this new quick release system. So we just push this pin here, that slides out, and away we go. This is really heavy duty stuff. You can see how easy it is to mount. That power pack weighs 10 kilos, okay? So it gives you an indication of how strong this grip is. So that's a new design on our super clamp, which just makes mounting your power pack super simple. And then the P-star resistance, the bit that brings people over, is this thing here. So our Evokes are IP54 rated, which basically means you can get them wet, you can get them damp, you can get them covered in sand. And the best way to show this off is to soak them all day, every day whilst we're here. Now, the great thing with this is a lot of the fixtures of this scale will be IP54 rated just on the head. That leaves you with a slight problem in terms of the ballast. We are IP54 rated on the head and the ballast, which is really unique and kind of helps us stand out in terms of making sure you've got the right light to be able to go and do any job. So not only do we have our own booth at IBC 2020, we've also partnered with Atomos. So they've got a fantastic experience here to be able to use their monitors and their equipment. And so they've brought a muscle car here. And what we've done is we've provided them lights to be able to bring the muscle car to life, basically, so people can see how high quality their monitors are. And that works really well in pairing with good lighting. So in terms of the setup we've got here, we have a Forza 500 with our Lantern 120, providing a super soft light over the front of this car that really does depict the lines in it, which is fantastic. Then inside the car, inside the manifolds, we've got some pavo tubes throwing up a green light that you can see coming up through, and that really does highlight all the metal and the shine from it, which is fantastic. In the front window, we have a pavo tube 30X, which is blue. That's obviously creating some reflection off of the glass, which again brings everything to life. Inside the cockpit, we have another pavo tube 30C, which is red, and then at the rear of the car, we have another 30X, which is blue. Then we talked about soft light and like nice lines. We really want to do something more dramatic and bold, so we've gone for a Forza 150B with a projector mount, and this is projecting a gobo over to the back of the car, and you can really see the contrast from really hard sharp lines and then soft light at the front of the car. So it gives you a good example of how to use lights in soft and hard kind of modification. So gives people the ability to see how good the monitors are. So it's really good that we've had the opportunity to pair with Atomos, and I think it brings a great experience to the whole IBC show. So the car on its own is fantastic, but with the lights as well, really does bring it to light. So yeah, thank you for following me on the tour. As you can see, everyone's coming in now, so it's starting to get a bit noisy, so I'm gonna wrap this. I really appreciate it. If you've got any questions about anything you've seen here, give us a shout.